Is the Nashville housing market crashing? Well, if you read the news and watch the headlines, you may think it is. In this video, we're going to go over 10 things that you need to know about the Nashville real estate market. And if you stay to the end, we're going to go over a pro tip that nobody really talks about. If you're somebody who finds yourself wanting to both sell and buy at the same time, let's jump into it. Tucker, the news is telling me that the world is ending and the housing market is crashing. What in the world is going on here?
Sure, Clay. Well, first of all, we have to know that real estate's local. So when you follow the national news and you hear these headlines, remember that's just on a macro schedule, on a macro level. What we really need to do is break that down on what's going on right here. And that's not really what we're seeing right now.
That's exactly right. Point number one is that the market is reaching stability. It's not crashing, at least in Nashville. Tucker, would you agree with that?
Yes, and I think what we need to know is there's all these different pockets in Nashville. We've talked about WeHo, and we've talked about Green Hills and Brentwood and Franklin, and each pocket's completely different. Like if you even talk about the 12th South neighborhood, that's still a really hot market. So is Green Hills. But at the same time, we are still seeing a slower market. You don't have to look at a house in 1 minute, figure out if you're going to write a contract and sign away your life. You have time to really think, which is actually really a good thing.
Yeah, that's right. And what we're finding is that the median home values are around $535,000 currently. And demand remains pretty strong because people are moving to Tennessee. It's a market where people are moving in. The population is growing. So that's going to take us into point number two, Tucker. What's that?
Clay, what you're really seeing is rising inventory levels all across Nashville. And when we really look at it from last year, we've had about a 28% increase in the amount of inventory that's available for buyers to review.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the next point is going to be that there is slower price growth. So prices are still going up in general, but they're not going like wild swings like they were during the pandemic. It's much more moderate increases. So we are in a different market right now, Tucker. What's point number four?
So what number four does for us is actually it gives us more options to choose from. It's a buyer's market. It's a very friendly market. It allows us to negotiate better and be more precise on what we're looking for.
Yeah, so if you find yourself in the buyer's seat, there is a little more breathing room. Now, the interesting thing, Tucker, you and I both know it depends on the product that comes out. There are buyers that we are still seeing multiple offers on certain product at certain times. It's not every time, but there are buyers looking. So you don't want to sleep on it if you know you really want the house that you saw today. But in general, there's a little more breathing room than there has been the last several years, right?
Yes, and no, you do not want to sleep. If you find the home that you want to buy, there's nothing where a lot of people come here and they think that they can look at a $1 million home and start offering $850,000. That's just not the case. The home will sell. It will sell very close to that $1 million mark. And we can definitely try to get aggressive, but we really have to pick and choose our spots so we don't lose the home.
Well, and the thing that we're always helping and guide our clients with is it kind of depends on the seller's posture. Anytime you're negotiating, if it's a brand new listing, they may not come way off of their price, the first day on the market or the first week. But the negotiation posture typically changes as it sits on the market and doesn't sell. It becomes more realistic for them to negotiate more. Would you agree?
Absolutely. 2 weeks ago, we found a house, been on the market 90 days. And we put an offer the same day somebody else did. And the next thing you know, we're sitting there in a bidding war. It happens.
Dude, it does happen. It's so wild to me, but that is like a thing. And it's like, everybody's like, is there really multiple offers? Well, it does happen. Sometimes people just have the same timing, right?
Absolutely. Clay, talk to me about point number five.
Yeah, so we have a strong job market that's fueling a lot of Nashville's growth. And so if you drive downtown, you're still going to see new companies moving in, buildings being erected. And all that equates to is more jobs, and that all feeds to the housing market. So again, Tennessee's becoming a magnet for a lot of businesses to get here, healthcare, music, entertainment. The downtown and tourism is exploding. So there's a lot of job opportunities and growth from the businesses that want to relocate here. And that's all behind a lot of what our demand is about still in Nashville.
Well, absolutely. And we help with quite a bit of corporate relocations. You have a lot of big companies here that are hiring on all different levels. So it is fun to see. The airport's still growing. The airport, I think, adds about 1 million passengers a year to their growth which just goes to show just how important Nashville continues to grow for the whole area.
That's right. And the rental market on the other side of things, it is up a little bit this year, but in general, it's not increasing like crazy. So if you're an investor looking for rental property, the biggest challenge you're honestly going to have is finding price points that make sense as a rental property. The general price point to get into our market at all has increased to the point where it's kind of cost prohibitive in a lot of neighborhoods to buy a rental property, unless you're okay with a very low return on your money. So the investor attraction is not quite what it used to be in Nashville anymore. I will say Davidson County property taxes just went way up. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's a sell-off as landlords come to deal with their new property tax rates, which might really hurt their cash flow. And they may say, forget this, I'm not making any money, I'm selling the property. I'll be curious to see how that plays out, specifically in Davidson, because the values went up so much. The tax values went up so much. Agree?
Well, they did. And the other thing that people don't really discuss about Nashville, really Davidson County, is the number of apartment complexes that have been coming online these past 2 or 3 years. And you could see, just, we're both landlords, we have rental property, and you could see all of a sudden you're going, where did all the renters go? And these big apartment complexes really absorbed a lot of them. Case in point, look at the WeHo area. Fantastic apartment complexes. They've got cold plunge, dog washing stations, all these neat amenities that are a whole lot of fun to look at.
Yeah, I've always wanted a dog washing station. Tucker, the next one on our list is the impact of mortgage rates. We're currently around 6 3/4. It seems like it's hovering around there. Sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's high 6s. But what's the impact of that on our market, in your opinion?
You know, Clay, when it comes to interest rates, the higher it is, the less our phone rings. And as we get closer to 6.5%, the phone just rings off the hook. The baseline for all of Nashville has really been right now, especially for us, divorces, downsizing, and really just relocation. People moving here because they need to be here. And that's really kept Nashville really protected. As we see, what we're seeing as interest rates drop, we're seeing more of that person who's going, hey, we're having baby number 2, baby number 3. We're looking for that bigger home.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Number 8 on our list is going to be, there's certain hot neighborhoods that are still seeing higher demand than everything else. This is going to be your East Nashville, your Wedgwood, Houston, your Nations. These neighborhoods are where you go and there's just cool things happening. Little businesses, mom and pops, interesting restaurants and breweries. The lifestyle appeal in these neighborhoods is really accelerated their growth. So you're going to see more demand in areas like that than you are some of the softer suburb areas where the markets are just not moving quite the same way. So just note that each market is local. And so it depends on the neighborhood you're looking in. But in those hot neighborhoods, houses, Tucker, will still sell if, in a week sometimes or less if they're a good looking product that's priced appropriately. And again, in those good locations.
And move-in ready. What we see from people that are moving here, and we share this with people that when we list their home, the people that are really buying need move-in ready. They don't have time for a rehab project or to, gut the kitchen. They just don't have time. They really need everything to look fantastic. Same thing with Williamson County. There's all these little neighborhoods where if something comes on the market, it's coming off the board pretty fast.
That's exactly right. It is still a good time to list your home. And again, I think it always depends on what the product is and how you price it. The ones that I see, Tucker, that sit and don't sell are the ones that are just average, that are okay, maybe priced a little high, maybe a little weird, or something about them that's just not exciting. But if you can create some pop, do the renovations before you sell. Buyers don't want to come do renovations ever. They want it turnkey and done. So if you're interested in your property really selling and not sitting, you want to go ahead and do those little pops, those color touches, the fresh paint, the renovations that you're able to pull off, get the curb appeal in order. Tucker, we recently had a Franklin listing that sold with multiple offers, and the seller had really done an amazing job. They had sodded the front yard. It was green grass. They gave lots of attention to the front door. You pulled up to the house in the driveway, you walked up, and it was exciting. You had a positive emotional response, and it paid off. When other homes in the market are just sitting that are just okay, we had one that was like, it popped. So that kind of stuff really matters right now more than ever if you're a seller and you want to get that home sold in short order. It does matter how it looks, right?
Yes. Curb appeal, we're trying to get that peak emotion when potential buyers walk in the door. And when we can achieve that whether it's through staging, whether it's updating the home prior to listing the home. Those are the things that matter, so we can go ahead and close on the home, help out the seller.
Man, that's exactly right. To summarize, Nashville's market is really recalibrating. It's not collapsing. It's a different market than the pandemic years, but it's definitely not collapsing. There's too many good things going on in Nashville, population growth, exciting things. Go downtown. You'll see it. It's wild, but it's really not collapsing here. Tucker, that brings me into our pro tip. We got to talk about this. We recently had a client who got young kids. They want to move from one place in Nashville to another area that's more pedestrian friendly for their little kids and the stroller life and all that. And it's hard to move when you have jobs and you have kids and you're getting your house ready. And then where am I going? I got to sell before I buy. And that's where we connected them with one of our local lenders, and they have a program that has really offered them the maximum flexibility to go ahead and buy the house they want to buy, and then they can sell the house that they currently have. So they don't have to worry about moving twice. So it's kind of a guaranteed buy program, but they're not actually going to buy it. They're going to give us more time to sell it. And so in effect, it's creating an opportunity for them to only move once. They don't have to move twice. They don't have to wonder. So they can go ahead and find the house they want to move in, and they can go ahead and buy it and move in there. You do have to pay for both homes, along the way, but there's no big fees associated with this. So it's a really great program for certain people that need that convenience of, hey, I want to find where I'm going and I don't want to be contingent on the sale of my house. How do I do that, Tucker?
And boy, Clay, you hit the hammer on the head when you said home sale contingencies. When you have a buyer and they've got a home sale contingency, they're just not interested. I mean, unless you're just under contract and you've been through everything and you're a week away from closing, they're just not interested. And so to have a program like this that can kind of step in sure is a benefit for everyone.
Yeah, it's all about if a seller sees that you're interested in their house, but it's contingent on the sale of a home that's not even on the market, not even sold, that seller's taking a lot of risk and hoping that you're going to be able to show up at closing with the sold home and all these other things falling in place. So it may hurt you when you try to get anything off the price of that home. You're much stronger as a buyer if you can go to that seller and say, hey, it's not contingent on the sale of a house. Here's my pre-approval. I'm good to go. It removes all kinds of doubt from the deal. So it helps you get that home landed that you really want. And so it puts you in a lot better position. Call us if you're interested, or if this would be helpful to you. This is what we do. Every day we're in the trenches helping buyers and sellers solve problems, figure out how to get to the next place that they want to be. Again, my name's Clay, and Tucker and the team and I, we contacted every single day from people like you looking to move to Nashville and make it home, and we love it. We're real estate agents, so we're here to help. You can call us or text us, and also drop in the comments if you're interested in learning about certain areas of Nashville that you want us to cover. Please let us know. We always appreciate your feedback, and if you got any value from this video, please like and subscribe to us. And until next time, hope to show you around town.